Fifth graders, today we are making our monochromatic landscapes. To start this project out, you're going to need a small white piece of paper, a plate with black, white, and the color of your choice, and then you will need a water cup, messy mat, and 2 size paintbrushes. I am going to start with a pencil. I'm going to get my name on the back, just in case I don't have time for a name tag today. When I flip it over, I am going to start by making 4 horizontal lines across from my paper. So I'm going to start one line a little bit from the bottom of the paper, and it can have some bumps in it. It does not have to be completely straight. We're trying to make land or outside, so nowhere outside are you going to find a perfectly straight line. I'm doing these lines fairly light and trying to space them out so that they're all about equal widths. Okay. The top line is not going to get painted. That's going to be our sky. So the next space, I'm going to write a really light number 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4 at the very bottom one. So that top one's the only one that doesn't have a number. We are going to have to make 4 different values of our color. So to start, I'm going to start with the number 1, and I'm going to make the lightest value that I can of the color I have. So I'm going to take a little bit of the color, and I'm going to mix it in with the white. And I am mixing it in with the whole pile. I am using my bigger brush, and as soon as it's fairly well mixed, I'm going to start to paint. So I'm painting just that one spot. Messy mat is there to catch any messes. And I am trying to get a nice smooth line. I don't want a line that's all choppy. I want to take my time and get that nice and smooth with this brush. Get some more paint. So I'm going to do this all the way until the pencil line for the second spot. If you can see your numbers through your paint, don't worry about it. We'll cover that up with a tree at the end. Now I'm ready for a darker value. So I'm going to add some more green or whatever color you have to that white pile. I might not mix the whole thing. I'm going to leave a little bit of that lighter value just in case I need it. This should touch the first value. You don't want any gaps or spaces between them. So as I'm filling this in, I really want to think about my craftsmanship, how neatly I am painting. I want this to be my best work. So I'm filling in those spots, smoothing out the paint. When I get to the third space, even if my brush is dirty, I'm still going to use it. I'm going to use just the color that I chose. So this is just green. Craftsmanship. I wouldn't want to do anything crazy like that. I want to have nice, smooth paint strokes. As I'm in a 5th grade art class, this should be awesome work. You've been painting for so long, over 6 years. The last value, we're actually going to add a little bit of black to our color. So we know black is going to make this dark really quick. So I'm just going to take a little bit, and I'm going to mix it in with my green. I don't think that's dark enough. I'm going to take another scoop of black. Alright, now I see the change. This definitely looks darker than my original green. As I get it on my paper, I'm thinking, I'm going to go a little darker. I think these still look too much the same. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, that's awesome. So again, I'm trying to make this nice and smooth. The rows are touching each other. I have not used my water cup at all. So I'm kind of just leaving it just in case I need to wash my brush if I make a mistake. So I'm going to set my big brush just on my messy mat. Scoot this over a bit. Now I'm ready for my little brush. Ah! Hey, what was I just talking about? Let's put that in the water cup. I'm going to use this little brush and touch up that mess. Good thing I have some of this light value left. Any mistakes can be fixed. I know some of you may get scared if something like that happens, but That's not bad. I actually have some value in that first one now. All right, I'm gonna wash this little brush now that I got it messy. Trees. I am going to squeeze that water out and get my brush really dry. I am gonna start with about, well, I got a mess down there too, don't I? See, even I make mistakes, no big deal. I'm gonna start with 3 or 4 lines in black. So these lines are gonna start at the bottom and they're gonna come up. They could come up into the second value. Maybe my next line is going to be really tall and it's going to come up over the top line. And I'm going to make this one over here maybe really short. And I have room for maybe one more over here. So they're very different heights. Now I'm going to turn these into a pine tree. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the top and I'm going to make tiny little curved lines coming out. Every curved line gets longer and longer. I'm having these curved lines, I'm getting a little more paint, touch each other. I'm not having a space between them, otherwise it looks like there's a big hole in the tree. So they get longer and longer and they go all the way to the bottom of the paper. So on the opposite side I'm going to try to match that. Just little itty bitty brush marks. Next one. I always like to start at the top, tiny, tiny, and get bigger and bigger and bigger. Maybe this one will just be a little tall one and skinny. If your trees touch another tree, that's fine. It's overlapping, they're just showing space. That one now looks like it's in front of the other one because my brush strokes went on top of it. So just tiny little curved brush strokes. To finish this project, ignore that bell. To finish this project, you are going to need to get your black paper that Mrs. Cleary has passed out. So the black paper, we're going to glue these on. Some of you might have printed on this one. Some of you might have just a solid black paper to frame it. So I'm going to get my printed black sheet. So I have some printing on the borders. I am going to glue on the back of my trees. So maybe a friend can help you flip it over, get glue on there. And then you are going to glue it nicely onto that black paper for a nice frame. So if you have some overlapping onto your print, no big deal. At that point, if your name tag is not in the bottom corner, get it in there and it can go in the drying rack. You are responsible for washing messy mats, getting clean water in your water cups, painting your paper plate, get the whole thing, whatever color you got, get all the white gone, and your plates can go in the red drying rack, and then brushes can go to Mrs. Cleary's table.